So a lot of you viewers may not know, but I know that guys on AGN definitely know. In the last 5 years, I've gone through probably 20 air compressors. I bought all kinds. I paid $1,500 for them. I paid $200 for them. Anyway, they always break, and I'm just fed up with it. So I decided to make one last ditch effort, and I researched everything, and I decided on a refurbished Venturi KRYPTON compressor. All right, you guys, a few of my favorite things are my 007, but also my John Wick pinball machine. And also, this is pretty much priceless. The only place you're going to see this is in a book or a museum or my house. And then I got my Terminator 2 first-person shooter, 600 first-person shooter games. But my most prized possession is my new Venturi KRYPTON air compressor. So this thing can blow up the big tanks. Like, for instance, tomorrow I'm going to go to the forest to shoot a big bore. So I'm going to pump up both my SCBA tanks. And I got this refurbished version, so I paid under $100 for this. Also, you guys, getting a carbon fiber 4,500 PSI tank does not have to be a $700 affair. These are $100 on eBay. If you're looking on eBay, the brand names to look for are Dragger and Scott. One of my blue tanks here literally came from the bomb squad. So I left the little thing on there, and most of it's still there. That used to say squad right there. That's for real, you guys. I didn't put that sticker on there. This is 220 volts, which I actually ordered accidentally. But these come in 110 or 220. For more information on the KRYPTON PCP air compressor, just shoot on over to Pyramid Air. You can get these at normal price, which is still a great deal. Or I got mine refurbished for under $100. And I'm going to use this exclusively, but it comes with a full rebuild kit. So when it does finally go out or stop building pressure all the way, we're going to just tear it down and rebuild it on video. So let's get this party started. Holy crap, you guys. I just got this little guy out. It's like 5 in the morning. My cat brought home this guy and dropped him by our food dish. And he was walking around dragging his back legs. I thought he was paralyzed, but then by the time I loaded my gun and got back, his back legs were fixed and he's fine.
And like everything inside of me knew, like, I think I'm healed.
Look at that. His back legs are working pretty good though. I think he's fine. I think he's going to make it. There's two things you need to run this compressor, and that is distilled water or regular water if you don't have that, and air compressor oil. You can use this kind right here. You can grab it off the internet, or they have it at any Ace Hardware. So check your local hardware store. And if you use distilled water, then it won't make mineral deposits on the inside of your compressor. Mine actually took over a gallon of distilled water. As well, there's a break-in procedure, and it's the same on the 110 or 220 volt. You want to put your oil and water in, put your panels back on, and the third thing you do is there's a pressure release valve that comes with your parts. You'll screw that into the pressure release port right there, and go ahead and close that. And your air hose is actually already attached and it's just coming out the side. So don't hook that up to anything. And with the pressure release valve closed, just run your compressor for 10 minutes with nothing attached to it. Then you can let it cool down. And once it's cooled down, you can hook it up to whatever you want and go ahead and use it. I did my break-in procedure, and then I didn't use my compressor till the next day. As well, my 220 volt came with a UK plug, but here's how you can wire that if you're in the United States. In the UK, brown and blue are positive and negative. This requires 50 amps of 220 volt. Just because a plug doesn't look like a normal house plug doesn't mean it's 220. For instance, this plug right here is only 125 volts, and that's meant for hooking up your RV. Fortunately, I had a 220 volt, and this is a common plug called A. They'll have this at Home Depot, and the way you wire it is you ignore the bottom one. The top is the ground, which in the UK is green or yellow. In my case, it was yellow. And then the two side ones are called hot 1 and hot 2. Since it's alternating current, it probably doesn't matter, but I was told to put the brown wire into hot 1 and the blue wire into hot 2. And then the bottom plug, you ignore. So at the end of the day, my plug looked like this, and it went right in, and it worked perfectly. If you're confused about the fuse that is in the UK plug, the United States has breaker panels, so you don't need that fuse. Your compressor is going to come with one of these little splicer things, but if you're going to run a moisture filter, you're going to need one more. A couple things that you should know. Usually you don't run air compressors off extension cords, so plug that thing straight into the wall. As well, you don't start the compressor when it's under pressure, so if you need to stop it for some reason, bleed the air out before you start it again. It also says don't adjust the auto stop once it's started or is under pressure. So that's tempting because you might put it to 45 and then it's pumping up and you're thinking, you know what, I think I'm actually going to bump it to 46, or maybe I want to bump it down to 42. Don't do that. You need to make sure there's no pressure in there when you're adjusting that. Inside your pressure gauge, you got a push button on top, so you can use that to get on either side of the indicators that are inside your pressure gauge. So one has a green tip, that's your start pressure. One has a red tip, that's your stop pressure. So your start pressure is always going to want to be at 0. So put that to 0 and then just put your stop pressure wherever you want it to auto shut off at, which does work great. So what happened when I hooked it up and ran it? It ran freaking awesome. Hit on to the cooling. Wait for that to ramp up. And finally press on. It's actually pretty quiet and pretty mellow for a 220. Very quiet, actually. It just sits there and does its thing, and it topped off my tank, you guys, in less than 10 minutes. So that's fast. I'm super happy. I'm glad I got a refurbished one. And that's all there is to tell you here. I'm going to run this thing till something goes wrong, and then we're going to repair it. So till that happens, happy shooting. I'll see you on the next one.